Hello and welcome to week 9 of Academy Rush. I'm Coco the Dragon, and the game we have today is Dignitas Academy versus Cloud9. And on the board, there's not a lot at stake between these two teams for this game. You have Cloud9 sitting in first place with a 2-game deficit between them and TSM, and then Dignitas struggling to find really any hope for getting into playoffs. They'd have to go 2-0 this week if they want to. So more or less, this is really just a report card for both of these teams overall, because you look at how these two teams, how these squads have really just been sort of surprising on the side of Dignitas, because it's just you expect so much more out of this composition, out of these players, and dropping from LCS down to Academy and really struggling to find any grasp of ideology is a very concerning thing at the end of the split. So there's going to be a lot of transitions that we'll be expecting once this summer is all said and done for them, where Cloud9, you've got a lot of hopeful, bright futures ahead of them. Fudge has been performing phenomenally through this entire split, as well as Palafox, who's been a constant pillar in this squad. Yes, you may have only not as aggressive play, but just sort of consistent KDA and lane control, but that's really what the best result is for Palafox in this C9 squad is just reforming yourself, getting trained by one of the best organizations to bring up young talent, and then being a formidable sort of stable mid lane is going to be very appetizing for a lot of the LCS teams once they start looking to scout around for the next season to come. But as we have hopped into this game, you look at the drafts and say, hey, Acadian and Nori, very concerning for this matchup for Dignitas, because you already have picked up the Nidalee, which was sort of forced, as you saw in the pick and ban. They kind of got red fairly quickly, and then just decided, you know what, let's put set mid, let's have that stable matchup for Froggen, who would rather prefer that passivity, and let's get something aggressive onto Lorlo, so we need to have something that can really double down on those two aspects to make sure that we can get some kind of early lead against Cloud9, who's been having a little bit of weak starts in the beginning of every single game that they've had. Inori did just get a little check-in on him, as JJ says, all right, we know where the Volibear is, so let's just make sure we can play accordingly, though staying up here right now is not really the transition you should be doing, okay? As the forces of the flashes are gone down. So a flash for flash, though, Diamond and JJ, not too bad, but let's see if Inori sticks around as just a calm start to the game that Froggen wants exactly in this mid lane is Lorlo and Acadian. Seeing if they can get that early aggression against Fudge. They picked up the Jace here to be a diffuser to make sure that Lorlo doesn't get out of control on this R4 Renekton, or B4 Renekton as it was. And hopefully he can do just that. Didn't force any summoners. Just gets to go ahead, go back, grabs another Dorn's Blade, gets to do a little bit of a cheat, and possibly look to teleport, or looking at the lane, you can just go ahead and walk right back, not lose too much. We're looking at the bottom side. Inori is seeing if he can get some vengeance. He knows the flash is down on JJ. They can look for the karma here. This looks to be first blood. The teleport comes in as well as the exhaust. And those two summoners disengage this tower dive. And Inori is in a terrible place. The hook comes in to grab Frog, and they may be able to get this set. But first blood had already gone over to the side of Dignitas. A very successful disengagement and counter dive from the Academy squad. And that is exactly what we need to see from this Dignitas Academy. If they want to even have a sliver of hope to possibly wiggle their way into playoffs, this is the play we need to see. Sure, they're not doing the aggressive path, but they're reacting properly. They have strong communication already. And with this space that has been given to Lorlo, they can continue to invest in him for that early to mid game carry. And with the success that they had just had in that bottom side with the counter dive, they're able to go ahead and have a little bit more of a stable bottom side. Even though Ash and Karma are already real stable as it is already. So now they can look at possibly a dragon here. See if you can get some vision out there. Say, all right, well, Inori's a little bit scared now. He's shaking in his boots after that terrible plan. And possibly we can look for that Mountain Drake, which will make our little bit of a squishy team comp a little bit beefier and have some meat on those bones. As you look across the board and say, well, we can't really take a lot of poke from Fudge and Palafox if they really start to zone us out, because Cloud9's objective control with this team composition pretty damn good. Like, you've got the pick style that you can get with Diamond and Fudge. You can really push people away from the space, and then Tomo and Inori's Volbear and Callista can really set up and really take down those objectives fairly quickly. But all is calm once again here for these two teams. Cloud9 sort of scared back defensively, but actually starting to go onto that dragon. Dignitas didn't aggress onto this bottom side success as I really think they should have. You had the space to do it, and especially with the confidence, but you know, Inori being able to find this and continue to have the vision control means that they can be confident in forcing it, while we've been having a little bit of a skirmish on the bottom side. Scares away the bottom end and gives Dignitas Academy the lane control that they needed. So thankfully, they were able to recover the little bit of a trip that they had going into this Dragon Dance. Diamond seeing if he can find anyone. He doesn't have vision. There you go. Just throw that ward down. He does have the scuttle, but it's not something that he can really predict just yet, as Acadian forces the dragon to start. Got a lot of pinks coming out across here. Tomo's in a little bit of trouble. They do force the flash, so they can go ahead and re-engage onto this dragon. And with that summoner being down, there's nothing on the board for Tomo. They can say, all right, back up. Let's call it a day. We have a Herald coming up at 8 minutes, so just a minute and 20 away. Let's go ahead and possibly prep for that, as Palafox just checking in, making sure everyone is attending this dragon as it is taken down. So far, a great start here from Dignitas, but like I said, Cloud9, they've had shaky early starts to most of their games. It's really when you get to that mid to late game conversion where their team fighting prowess as a squad is intimidating and just dominates the map from here on out. So I'll have to keep a note on that. But most of the time that does happen, Fudge is on a very strong carry in those situations. So maybe you look at Inori and say, okay, we haven't had good success here on this bottom side. We tried to force an objective as well. Let's see if we can flip the tables a little bit here. Like, we know Renekton is extremely strong early on, but he does have this very strong weakness of just plateauing his power spike really quickly once he gets to those two items. So try and force that now. He is building defensively, so he's not going to have that damage. Maybe look for those tower dives with Palafox and Inori. You're level 6 on Volibear. Best time to do so is now, but Dignitas is ahead of the play and says, all right, we've hit those spikes as well, and we know Herald is coming up. Acadian is on this top side. You've got a control ward in your pocket as well for that Nidalee, so go ahead and see if you can get some vision around it. Keep track of this bear. It's a lot easier to hunt when you know where the bear is. So make sure that you have game on point. On the other side, though, you have a 50 CS to 70 CS between Tomo and Asta. So even though you had that successful counter dive go your way, and you did have First Blood go over, you're still being oppressed in this lane because of how well Diamond is doing with his Blitzcrank, dashing back and forth. Yes, it's that stable lane, like I mentioned earlier, that Ashe Karma doesn't really have a lot of issues between matchups, but you still just don't want to get hooked in and then just be beaten down by Tomo. As Palafox getting in some trouble here, frogging with the flash, but the nice Ori ultimate as well to make a whole disengagement. JJ flashes in to secure the kill, and they will. Acadian is able to grab this one up, going into the hands of Nidalee. Probably the best person to have that as well. Like, you think about it, we've had such failure on Nidalee so far in the season, and now that Acadian is actually having a good performance on Nidalee is a nice refresher. And they actually get to get Herald as well. Where is Inori in this game? They had one unsuccessful play, and he has just been completely out of this game. Dignitas has just taken over the map, and it's not just one player or two players being able to mediate that, it's the entire squad, and this communication is finally online for this Academy team. It's giving me some hopes, but, you know, we're not out of the woods yet. It's only 9 minutes and 40 seconds in. You're going to hit that 14-minute mark when turrets are really going to start to be paper, and they're forcing onto Fudge. Fudge, he used the flash. He might be able to get out, but I highly doubt it. Acadian is able to grab that one. No one was there to help him disengage and retreat fully, but the damage was there for Dignitas Academy. And with this rotation that they had with the Herald play, they can go ahead and get a lot of gold into the pockets of their members as these turret plates will fall. And they also get the Herald popped as well. This will be first brick going over to the side of Dignitas Academy unless we see a hard force from Cloud9, from Tomo and Diamond. You already see the recall coming in from Diamond. Says, you know what, we're going to call it a day. We know we're going to lose first brick. Let's see if we can just get all 5 plates onto Tomo individually. That's a lot of gold in his pockets, and he has a 30 CS differential. So what was a very strong top side for Cloud9 historically has now been placed into the rookie of Tomo. And that's a great story for Tomo, to be honest, because this is the game then to really sell a good story for next season, for next split, for a team to pick you up. Analysts are going to be looking at this performance specifically if they want to grab this young marksman who is a substitute for King, who might or may not be coming back into the squad next year round. So far, with the resets going through, you already have Blade of the Ruin King onto Tomo. He's running into the mid lane saying, all right, we have Dragon in 45 seconds. Let's get some control around this objective. We have the composition to do it. We have Fudge who can backpeel. He has the teleport available so he can threaten Lorlo on this top side. And if we have the vision, we can make the picks. So we need to get that vision again back into our hands and then look for a possible advantage here. There you go, Diamond saying, all right, I got you, buddy. We've got the spirits as well, doing a little bit of reconnaissance. And Asta may or may not be in a bad spot here, as Diamond is really itching for a hook. He flashes for the knockup. They will take down JJ going into the hands of Tomo. You see the Kalista ultimate pop to be that extra tool of disengagement, and they're going to use it on 3 members. Acadian will kill him nonetheless, but it means this fight is just back and forth. A wonderful ultimate from Palafox will keep this game going for Cloud9. It's 3 versus 4, but this very scrappy fight has only gone into a result of 1 for 2. As now JJ has already respawned and is sprinting back to the fight. Though it had gone successfully in the start, oh, the chase from Dignitas is still there. And they will win control of this dragon once more, and they have the health to continue this objective and claim the prize. You see teleport coming in from Fudge. He says, we're not done yet. They're still pretty slow on this dragon. We can re-engage. And Cloud9, again, this is the team fighting composition that they want around these objectives. Tomo's a little bit unhealthy, but he has the Blade of the Ruin King to sort of heal himself back up a little bit. Dragon has reset, and this dance continues. It does take 2 to tango, but these 10 members of the Academy squads of Cloud9 and Dignitas are really having a problem with controlling this objective. Acadian is going to be able to take it. And what was such a back and forth fight for just control of the objective inevitably goes in favor of Dignitas Academy just because of how that previous fight for the pick onto JJ ended. There wasn't the damage there available just yet for Cloud9 to really close out any of the kills or grab any members off of Dignitas Academy. And you could say, hey, thankfully Mountain Drake was there to help him out with that. But in the end, because of that fight, you lose the objective's control and your pressure on it. Dignitas was able to win it back. But now, look at it, like, just looking at how the current state of the game is, you're only 1,000 gold down. It's something where it's like, we don't need to worry about it too much, right? Like, it's okay. It's a Cloud Soul. It's not the most detrimental soul to be on the board. We can still contest for these. Again, we are more of a mid to late game team. We barely had any of our members online for that. Sure, we had the Seraph's Embrace there for Palafox, but it's not stacked. It's not Archangel Staff just yet. Or flip that around, depending on how those items are named. But nonetheless, you also didn't have a completed item on Fudge. You didn't have the tools there fully available for Tomo. Like, yes, you had the Blade of the Ruin King for 1 target, but you didn't have the 3 targets with the Runon's Hurricane. So all of that still, in the end, isn't a bad sign for Cloud9, but Dignitas Academy needs to continue to have that tempo, have that pressure. Yes, you're 5-1. You don't even have a 1,000 gold deficit anymore, or advantage, so that's now been lost. Where are you going to look for your advantages now? Because Lorlo is having a real struggle in this top side, just against Palafox, and he hasn't even gotten his Blade of the Ruin King yet either. Like, this is how early on this game is right now. Like, even with these 2 teams already contesting for 2 objectives and a failed tower dive, most of the players haven't even finished a first item yet, and it just shows you how slow this game actually is for this week 9. Like, there's not a lot of speed ramping up. You're 5-1, but you don't have any sense of an economy or item lead. It's actually Cloud9 who has this. So even though they were able to find success, again, Cloud9, they're not an early game team, but they're still able to keep tempo to prepare for those mid-late game situations that they would rather be in for that success. But now Herald is going to be up in about 10 seconds, so you already have the control there for Dignitas Academy. Reset coming in from Diamond means that they might just go ahead and force it and just say, you know what, let's leave it as it is. Fudge, yeah, I don't know if you win that, but no worries. You can go ahead and get out with Phase Rush, no problem. So, okay, you decide to surrender Herald, the second Herald as it is. Let's see if you can get a kill onto Frog. He does have Flash available. He does get stunned though, so that means you're able to catch up. Fudge isn't there. Here comes the ultimate. Fudge, he just keeps walking away. He's trying to get in range, but this is a beefy set, and there's the Blast Cone to really fully disengage, but here's Tomo now. He's got that Cloud Circle to help catch him up, and he procced the Blade of the Rune King. He could be dead for all things here, but again, set's real tanky. You are going way too far for this. Oh, goodness gracious. Someone needs to cook him up a dinner because he was hungry for that one. And Ori, unfortunate event for them. But so far, it just goes all back to neutrality between these two teams, even after that ridiculous chase. And so with the resets coming in, now we've got the items here for Dignitas Academy. There you go. We got Blade of the Rune King finally. You got the Shirelia's Reverie as well. And a 4-0 Acadian. You better start using this. You really need to. You are now at a point where, again, you're starting to win back control after Cloud9 just went bonkers with that chase. And Dragon is up in 50 seconds. You look at the vision control right now, ready for it. Nothing is really primed and set up. You only have the lane security for Asta to just keep power farming and catching up. He's now at a 45 CS differential. That's ridiculous. Or 35, almost 40. That sucks for Asta, because that shows you how slow, like how behind he is, like on how slow his farming's been. Like you have a Zeal already for Tomo. I want to look at how those power spikes are going to be doing for both these players, because I don't know how much unused gold, like empty gold they have right now in their pockets. Because if you can go ahead and recall and cash in for Runon's Hurricane for Tomo, that's going to be amazing for this fight. But it's already 10 seconds until the Dragon, and Dignitas Academy has already decided, you know what, we need to force this Herald now, because that will give us that mid lane pressure, and then we can just use this time to prepare our vision for this objective control and get us this threatened for the sole point, alright? So there you go. That's exactly as planned. They hard force it. They have that defensive line. They're saying, all right, cool. We've also gotten Froggen on that top flank to make sure nothing happens on the offsides. And Cloud9 does do the smart call and says, you know what, let's just try and force the turret instead in this mid lane. Crack it open. Come on, Diamond, just push yourself forward, assert yourself a little bit more. And there you go. Cloud9's able to break that mid lane turret for 2 turrets to 1. And it still keeps them just underneath that 1,000 gold deficit between these teams. Froggen is going to go ahead and equalize that number between the two. And I haven't seen a lot of picks coming in from Acadian, because even though he's doing well on him, here you go. So this is look at this gold. So you have 1,000 sitting right now onto Tomo, 900 for Asta. You've got a lot of gold sitting on Froggen as well. He might try and cash in and look for that Dead Man's Plate here soon. Yeah, he might reset and get the Chain Vest to prepare, but who knows, he might just say, you know what, I'm in an okay spot to just continue power farming. So you're just a few hundred gold off for that Runon's Hurricane for Tomo to really be powerful in these team fights. Keep an eye on that one once more. We also have the Seraph's Embrace fully online for Palafox, so now he can fully invest into that second item. And just trying to wrestle mid-control for both of these teams. You'll wonder, why would we do that? Not just because it's the shortest lane and because it's North America with ARAMs. It's also because of the Baron that will be coming up in the next few moments. Because you look at, again, Tomo and Inori, they can still take objectives fairly quickly. And as long as you have zone control and pressure around the river here, especially at the 20-minute mark, you can give some room for concern and some reason for concern for Dignitas Academy to really try and push themselves back out, because they're playing the way that they have sort of found a formula or a recipe for success, right? Like, it's very passive, it's reactive, and it's been successful, but it also convolutes the statistics just a little bit, right? Like, you look at the games like, wow, 6-1, they're doing so well, but Cloud9 has the control of the map almost entirely. Like, you got top line safety with all of that vision that they have around. All the kills are onto Acadian, who will, again, sort of flatline and plateau in a sense of power overall, they need to find some picks here and now. And again, I have to reiterate for Acadian, you need to find picks on this Acadian. You need to use the power that you have right now, because if you don't, this Cloud9 composition is going to tear you limb from limb, and I really don't want to see that in this game, because you guys are doing so well. You're really making a good argument so far. Nice spacing here from Cloud9 Academy to continue to wrestle control. Diamond saying, can we find a pick here? He's going to look for it, but he's not able to find anyone. But this Palafox on this top side, this is wonderful 1-3-1 that Cloud9 has been doing. Getting that third turret for themselves now, but even then, it is still a very slow and methodical game here between these two teams. So here you go, 20 minutes, 21 as a matter of fact. You start the pings coming out from Dignitas Academy. They're like, we need to get some eyes on this Baron right now, because we are in the danger zone for Inori and Tomo to start to look to sneak that one. And you can do it with Palafox as well, but if you're doing this 1-3-1 style and you have Diamond sort of pushing around in their jungle trying to pretend that he's looking for picks, it can scare Dignitas away. See, that's the Ashero. That shows you how scared Dignitas Academy is. That is a literal symbol of like, crap, we are not doing well in controlling this vision, and we need to really win that back. So Tomo once again, oh my goodness, 40, is that? Yeah, still 50-40 CS differential. Have to see how that continues to just overwhelm the members of Dignitas Academy. So now you have Manamune on Fudge. That transition from the lethality and the pickaxe with the Manamune means that, again, it's going into the late game. He's looking for that scaling. He wants to get to that Muramana so he can do that more extensive damage instead of just fully relying on his burst trade that Jace is notorious for. And here you go, that Vision War has migrated to the south side of the map for this sole point. And Dignitas should have been prepping for this. Cloud9 has had control of the map so far, but Dignitas Academy has not been looking for picks and has not been using Acadian. There's an ultimate onto JJ, forcing him out of the fight. And Warlow, all on his own, is forced away as well. And this will leave this dragon open just for a little bit longer. It's only 20 seconds till it's up, so there's time to go ahead, reset, and sprint your butt all the way back into that zone to try and contest for it. Because again, if you lose this soul, it just extends the game 5 minutes more for Cloud9 to continue doing what they are right now. Controlling the map, making it absolutely dark for you, looking for picks with Blitzcrank, and hello, Froggen had made a teleport here on this bottom side. This is going to force the fight. Ashero misses though, and that allows Tomo to go ahead and flash and disengage. Proper spacing here coming in from Cloud9, and though it's two flanks, they are winning the war here. Tomo is able to take down Lorlo, but also Inori falls on the back end. A double kill here for Acadian as well. You can see Fudge just popping off here on this chase. And JJ will fall as well. Palafox grabs that one, puts himself on the board, and Froggen is still one beefy boss boy, as he's going to be able to get another 2 kills for him, and Diamond is all alone. And Froggen and Acadian, the two strong members of the mid and jungle of Dignitas Academy, will win control of this soul point. And if you look at that fight again, if you go ahead, scrub back a little bit more once this game is all said and done, you can see the damage that Tomo was able to dish out onto the back line. But because of how short range Callista is, and because of the fact that Blitzcrank is not the best support to heal for his carry once his tools have been expended, Froggen and Acadian jumped on him immediately once all of those tools were used up, after Asta and Lorlo tried to jump on him initially. And they were able to take down that massive power carry of Cloud9, and because they are just so darn beefy between the two, and with the healing that is coming in from the Athene's Unholy Grail, those two can just be a powerhouse and just truck through the back line of Cloud9. So now that's a little bit of a concern here for them to answer. You can say, all right, we know how to answer 3 members out of Dignitas Academy, but we still have yet to find the answers for 2. And those 2 carry 8 of the 10 kills between them. You have a 10-stack Medjai Soul Stealer, a Zanya's Hourglass, a Morella Nomicon, and a Sorcery Jungle item. Fight again, Asta has not been having a good day on those. But they're able to win control of the river. and allows them to get some vision control for this Baron, see if they can spread out a little bit and see if they can possibly look for Tomo walking in on his own, on his lonesome. You think, all right, how good is your objective control and your objective taking speed for Dignitas Academy? Nice steal there, Acadian, by the way. And honestly, the sad thing is it's not really ready. Like, yes, Ashe has Blade the Rune King. She can tear it down pretty quickly, but no one else really is able to at this moment. Like, yes, you have an Italy that's very strong, but she's squishy, so she can't really fully tank it. So you need at least 3 members there to do it, and Cloud9 knows that. They're looking for the hard forest. Lorlo's on the bottom side. He's looking for a place to TP in. JJ's in a little bit of an awkward position, and so is Palafox as they continue the chase. Cloud9 is on the wrong side of the tracks as they're looking to go ahead and disengage. There's the acceleration gate. I'm going to go ahead and disengage that one, but oh, Diamond. That is a rough spot. Very rough spot. He might, yeah, he'll die here, but what this does, it'll allow him a little bit of time. It allows Cloud9 actually to say, okay, let's just reset, take a breather. There is not really any threat contention so far for Dignitas Academy to take this Baron. So we can ward up, play safe, just know where they are, and really just keep counting heads. See if Asta pops into a lane, if Froggen pops into a lane, if Acadian pops into a lane. If any of them pop up, you know that they're not doing Baron. But you have to constantly be doing that, because there you go, Dignitas Academy, they may not be able to do 2 or 3 members for Baron, but they can definitely do 4, as Froggen does the clever trick with the Blast Cone to make sure that he's always on that flank side. They're going to see that Blast Cone's down, they're like, okay, where's Froggen? We have to find Froggen. Fudge has spotted him. Tomo's in an awkward spot. And there you go. Froggen with a beautiful flank is going to be able to find Tomo. They will take him down. And Acadian will take that one, making him legendary. Froggen is able to claim one finally for himself. Nice prize on that. And the beautiful flank from Froggen and the disengagement from Dignitas Academy will continue to reset for this Baron. You've got the Athene's Unholy Grail, so you can heal back up just fine. And if Froggen goes back to offsides duty, he needs to find Fudge or Palafox. There's no ultimates available for the members of Cloud9 Academy, but they can at least chase down Froggen if they try. Here comes the teleport from Lorlo as well. They're going to disengage off the Baron once more and look for a potential ace here as Palafox just bursts down Asta. As Froggen going onto a killing spree here, Diamond and Fudge are just separated. And for a sacrifice of Asta, you can't do the Baron anymore. Cloud9 has at least salvaged themselves. Oh, they're really going for this, but Inori's up. I don't know if you want to try and do the 50-50 here. They're taking it really slow. Here comes the teleport from Fudge as well. So look at this. This is an issue here for Dignitas Academy because you don't have a quick objective anymore. Now you have to go once more back into a fight. This is a 3v4 though. Inori's pretty beefy, but Tomo's not doing any damage. He's only thrown like 1 spear and he just dies immediately. Acadian grabbing that for the 10th kill of the game. Fudge forced to disengage once more. And my goodness, Dignitas has been constantly trying to wrestle for control of this map, and they have finally won it after 3 consistent and continuous fights. Back at it again. You know, a 4th time's the try, right? Oh my goodness. And now you don't have Inori up again, so at least you can try and take this one down. I don't think there's any way that Cloud9 Academy will be able to steal it this time around. Slow and steady wins the race. The turtle against the hare. And Dignitas Academy will be able to continue putting pressure into this game. 7,000 gold lead. Finally a convincing lead after 4 fights in a row. They're able to actually get a gold advantage. And Cloud9 has just been throwing body after body against them. And I was mentioning earlier in the game that we were looking at Tomo for this because they had been able to shut down Fudge. They were able to shut down Inori. So those 2 powerhouses that Cloud9 has really relied on in the past were no longer there. And on a Callista, this is your time to shine. So far, you're 2-3, and that last fight you threw 2 spears. You didn't even throw one for each member of Dignitas Academy who was beating down on you, so already a little bit of a flag for concern as 14 seconds until the Elder Drake spawns. And Dignitas has the Baron buff available. Froggen is sitting in base with the teleport. There is 1 ward there you can see right next between the blue and the Gromp. If they don't take that out... Alright, thank you, Fudge. Alright, now you don't have that flank threat in here for Froggen. So Dignitas says, okay, we need to force this once again. Back out, push it forward. Now we have that ward right next to Acadian you see there. You can also teleport to traps, by the way, if you did not know. Fun fact. But with that... Cloud9 surrenders Elder Drake and says, I think we can wait out 2 minutes. They've waited out 30 minutes. Can they wait out another 2? With double buffs going over to Dignitas Academy. And you think of the repercussions that this win might have for Dignitas and Cloud9. Cloud9 doesn't matter too much. Again, they had a 2-win advantage over TSM's, who's sitting in second place. If TSM goes 2-0, all right, you've got some room for concern. But tomorrow, you have a little bit of a better matchup anyways. Like, you think about it. Cloud9's going up against CLG tomorrow. If they pull that one off, they'll most likely stick in their first place spot for playoff seeding, where on the other side, Dignitas is up against 100 Thieves. So if you win this one, that 100 Thieves game is looking a lot more appealing. So far, Dignitas finally able to break the base with that force. With the super minions now flooding in onto the bottom side, Cloud9 really itching for a place to find a picker at advantage. Froggen, I love the BM, but it's not emotes, and we know NA has to win the emote war. If we can win emote worlds, then I'll give you the clap on that one. Now with the siege coming in, once more breaking down these turrets like paper mache. They have a few more seconds until both Baron and Elder Dragon fall, so use as much as you can. The arrow goes wide through the 5-hole of Cloud9. So they keep playing slow, play methodical. Again, you've been doing so well so far. Do not trip here, Dignitas Academy. As now, once again, go ahead, reset. You're now at a 10,000 gold lead. Get that item, that third item for Asta online. Get that Infinity Edge. See if you can get that Warmogs there for Froggen as well. And looking at how that draft went, Cloud9 had their number for the first part. And it was great a reply coming in from Dignitas with the flexibility. And one of my other notes was to see who was more creative between these two teams. Because Dignitas Academy, again, they've been looking for something that's a little bit more patient, that they can be consistent on with not being aggressive, but being reactive. And these drafts have been able to find it. Alright, 900 gold onto Froggen. You can't get Warmogs, unfortunately, but you've got 1,500 gold onto Acadian. Wonder what he's going to be doing to cash in on that one. Is you look at also how the gold is spread out between all of these members. Fairly even, outside of the 7,000 gold difference that Acadian has over Annoy. And you can see it. 25 stacks onto Medjai Soul Stealer as well. If this Nidalee looks at you, you're dead. You're just dead. And I think I can check the box now that they have used Acadian and they've used the Nidalee. Not in the way that I would want them to, or wanted them. But it's still successful. Like, it was more reactive. Sure, you weren't making the aggressive plays that Nidalee's known for. Oh, okay, just as I was applauding you, you get hooked in, but Diamond just gets obliterated. As Annoy tries to peel him away, Tomo gets taken down as well. A double kill for Lorlo, and Dignitas Academy is running and just creating chaos in the ranks of Cloud9. And with a full ace, that will be game. That will be Dignitas finding the first win. Can they make it a 2-0 this week as they take down the first seed of Cloud9?